The cursor blinked on the white screen, a rhythmic taunt in the silence of Kate's bedroom. It was 3:14 a.m. Her laptop hummed on her duvet, the heat seeping through her pajamas. But Kate felt cold with nervous energy. She wasn't working on the marketing briefs for the upcoming merger. She was writing an email to j.vance@vance-media.com. Jessica Vance, the CEO, the woman who walked through the corridors of Vance Media like she owned the very air everyone breathed. Kate, a junior creative strategist, had spent the last 18 months memorizing the way Jessica's jaw tightened during budget cuts and the way her eyes, a piercing, intelligent hazel, softened only when she was looking at the art pieces in the lobby. It was a secret, agonizing worship. Tonight, the exhaustion had lowered Kate's inhibitions. She needed to get the feelings out of her system, onto the screen, just to delete them and finally sleep. Jessica, she typed, forgoing the professional title. I know I'm just a face in the strategy meetings, someone who hands you files and nods. But I feel like I'm screaming in a silent room every time you walk by. I don't just admire your leadership. I am captivated by the lonely grace you carry yourself with. I see you. I see how you rub your temples when the board leaves. I see the hesitation before you put on that mask of invulnerability. I'm in love with your mind, your strength, and the terrifying beauty of your composure. I dream about breaking that composure. I dream of being the one person you don't have to be strong for. I want to know what you look like when you let go. Kate stared at the words. They were raw, honest, and completely career-ending. She hovered her mouse over the trash icon. Just delete it. Burn it. Her phone buzzed loudly on the nightstand, startling her. Her hand jerked. Her finger tapped the trackpad. Message sent. The notification bar slid green at the top of the screen. Kate stopped breathing. She stared at the screen, her heart hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. She scrambled to find an undo button, refreshing the page, her hand shaking so hard she nearly dropped the laptop. But the server was fast. The email was gone, delivered to the inbox of the CEO. Kate collapsed back onto her pillows, staring at the ceiling, feeling a wave of nausea. It was Friday. She had 48 hours to figure out how to vanish from the face of the earth before Monday morning. The weekend was a torture chamber. Kate didn't eat. She barely slept. She replayed the email in her head 1,000 times, each time cringing harder. She imagined Jessica laughing at it. She imagined Jessica calling HR. Monday morning was gray and rainy. Kate walked into the Vance Media tower feeling like a ghost. She kept her head down, avoiding eye contact, terrified that security would escort her out before she even reached her desk. By noon, nothing had happened. The silence was worse than the screaming. At 1 p.m., her internal messenger pinged. From Jessica Vance to Kate Miller. Subject, my office. 2 words. No punctuation other than the period. Kate stood up, her legs wobbling. She walked the long hallway to the corner office, the glass walls feeling like a fishbowl. Her colleagues were chatting, laughing, oblivious to the execution about to take place. She knocked on the heavy oak door. Enter, came the voice. Sharp, clear. Kate stepped inside. Jessica was standing by the window, looking out at the rain-slicked city skyline. She was wearing a midnight blue dress that hugged her frame, her arms crossed. She didn't turn around immediately. Shut the door, Kate. Kate obeyed, the click of the latch echoing loudly. Ms. Vance, I am so incredibly sorry. That email was a draft. It was a mistake, a moment of exhaustion. I have my resignation letter ready in my bag right now. Jessica turned slowly. Her expression was unreadable, her face a perfect mask. You want to resign? I assume you want me to, Kate whispered, looking at the floor. It was inappropriate. Inappropriate, yes, Jessica said, walking slowly toward her. The sound of her heels on the hardwood was deliberate. She stopped just a foot away from Kate. But you said you see me. Kate looked up, startled by the softness in the tone. Do you really? Jessica asked, her hazel eyes searching Kate's face with an intensity that made Kate's knees weak. You see the loneliness. Yes, Kate breathed. I do. Jessica let out a long breath, her shoulders dropping slightly. The CEO mask slipped just an inch. I read your email on Friday night. I was alone in this office. And then I read it again on Saturday. And Sunday. She took a step closer, invading Kate's personal space. No one has ever dared to speak to me like that. Not in this building. Not in this city. The dynamic in the office didn't change for anyone else. But for them, the air became thick with electricity. Over the next 2 weeks, meetings became a subtle game of torture. Jessica would catch Kate's eye across the conference table, holding her gaze just a second too long. When Kate handed over reports, their fingers would brush, a fleeting contact that sent sparks racing up Kate's arm. It finally broke on a Thursday night. The team had left hours ago. Kate was working late on a pitch deck, the only light coming from her monitor. She heard the door to Jessica's office open. Kate! Kate spun her chair around. Jessica was standing there, holding 2 glasses of scotch. She looked tired, her hair slightly mussed, the top button of her blouse undone. "Come here," Jessica said quietly. Kate followed her into the large office. Jessica handed her a glass and sat on the edge of her desk, looking down at Kate. "I can't stop thinking about it," Jessica admitted, her voice low and husky. "The part where you said you wanted to know what I look like when I let go." Kate's heart thudded in her throat. She set the glass down on the desk, her hands trembling. "Jessica!" "Show me," Jessica commanded, though it sounded more like a plea. "You're the only one who sees me, Kate, so stop standing there like an employee." The permission was the spark that lit the fuse. Kate stepped forward, her hands coming up to cup Jessica's face. Jessica leaned into the touch instantly, her eyes fluttering shut, a small sigh escaping her lips. "You have no idea how long I've wanted to do this," Kate whispered. She kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was a collision. Jessica made a noise in her throat, a desperate, hungry sound, and pulled Kate closer, her legs wrapping around Kate's waist to pull her flush against the desk. The weeks of tension, the fear of the email, the professional boundaries, it all shattered. Jessica's hands tangled in Kate's hair, messy and urgent. Kate's hands roamed over Jessica's back, feeling the warmth of her skin through the silk of her blouse. They kissed until they were breathless, fueled by sapphic hunger that had been starving in silence for months. "Kate!" Jessica gasped, pulling back just an inch, her lips swollen and red. "I don't want to be the boss tonight. I just want to be yours." They left the office, leaving the unfinished work and the empty scotch glasses behind. Jessica's apartment was a reflection of her, elegant, cool, and pristine. But the moment the door clicked shut, she became someone else entirely. She was warm, eager, and wonderfully vulnerable. In the dim light of the bedroom, stripped of titles and expectations, they explored each other with a reverence that felt almost holy. Kate took her time, unbuttoning Jessica's blouse with shaking fingers, revealing the woman beneath the armor. "You're beautiful," Kate whispered, pressing a kiss to Jessica's shoulder. Jessica, the woman who commanded boardrooms with a glare, looked at Kate with wide, watery eyes. "I feel real with you." Finally. The night was a blur of skin against skin, of whispered confessions and the tangled heat of sheets. It was passionate and intense, a physical language for all the words Kate had written in that email and all the words Jessica had been too afraid to say. Every touch was a promise. Every kiss was a seal on their new reality. Hours later, the city lights filtered through the sheer curtains. The room was quiet, save for their synchronized breathing. Jessica lay with her head on Kate's chest, her arm thrown possessively over Kate's waist. She traced patterns on Kate's skin with her fingertips. "So," Jessica murmured, her voice sleepy and rich with contentment, "we have a problem." Kate stiffened slightly, stroking Jessica's hair. "HR." Jessica hummed. "We'll have to disclose it. Or I can move you to a different department so you don't report to me directly. I can make you head of creative development. You'd be brilliant at it." Kate smiled into the darkness, relieved. "You've already thought this through?" Jessica propped herself up on one elbow, looking down at Kate with a smirk that was equal parts arrogant and adoring. "I'm the CEO, Kate. I always have a strategy. And my strategy involves keeping you." Kate laughed, pulling Jessica back down for a slow, lingering kiss. "I like that plan." "Good," Jessica whispered against her lips. "Now, no more emails. If you have something to say to me, you can just whisper it in my ear.